has just the 3 men on the leg side, himself at mid-on, and then a massive gap to deep backward square. As Drizzle comes in again, and this is nicely pitched up and eased through the offside. So Yorkshire and Adam Lythe are underway, and now one without loss.
Boundaries look pretty big, Ash.
Yeah, it's pretty big. We heard Ryan Campbell there, and I'm not sure if that came across on the stream, but Durham were the victims of that big boundary the other night, with the Birmingham Bears taking 2 catches, the old juggle and throw the ball back in. And one from Mousley, he leapt right over the rope and managed to fling it back in as well. So I think Ryan was saying that definitely made a huge difference in the game. As Drizzle comes in again, this time to Milan, who gets a thick outside edge, and it goes away to Cars at backward point for no run.
We saw an absolute worldie at Headingley last night.
Saw that?
Yeah.
Bethnal.
Yes, Bethel.
Yeah, wow, what a catch.
Arm outstretched.
Incredible.
Lengthy run and dive.
And this one's just back of a length, and Milan just a little bit of a prod at that one. Not quite sure what this pitch is doing as they're trying to assess it, but a good start from Drizzle. He has gone for just 1 so far off the first 5 deliveries, and will look to try and close out the first over without any further damage. He comes in now and bowls this to Milan, who tries to cut that away and gets a bottom edge to Souter at point, and that ends the over, and just the 1 run on the board to Adam Lythe. Milan yet to score.
Yep, so another slowish start by Yorkshire. They've had a few quick ones as well during this tournament. It's just the way things are in T20 cricket, isn't it? But that's a good start with the ball. Anything we need to know about the pitch? Is it used, for example, this, you know?
I think it is a used pitch, but maybe only once for a T20 game. They try and play on a fresh pitch most days. Vic, as you can see from the square, for those looking on the stream, there is a bit of wear and tear out there. I think we're going to see Ben Rain open the bowling from the Lumley end.
He's taken a career best tally the other day against, it was against Warwickshire the other night, wasn't it? 4 wickets. He's gone past 100 in T20 as well. Here he comes, right arm over from the Lumley end, and the ball is played by Lythe out to short extra cover. Lythe's had a boatload of runs against Durham in this competition. 92 not out in 2018, 64 in the semi-final in 2016, 87 in Leeds in 2016 as well. 77 at Leeds in last year, and an 81. So he's really enjoyed playing Durham over the years. Here's Rain coming in, and he tries to paddle that around the corner. There's an appeal, and not out, says the umpire.
Bit of early pressure there from Durham, and Lythe trying to lap that one over fine leg, not really getting the pace from Ben Rain that he wanted to, but it's a good start from Durham, and just putting the pressure back onto the Yorkshire batters. And Yorkshire, like Durham, are a bit of a streak side. They seem to go on a run of wins or a run of losses, and it makes for pretty nervous watching for both sets of fans.
Rain coming in. That's the umpire, and that's driven by Lythe, and he is out. He's pulled it straight to mid-on to Brighton Cross by the looks of things, and he's gone for 1. Yorkshire 1 for 1.
And that's a build-up of pressure started with the first over from Drizzle, only going for 1 run. Ben Rain continuing on the good work. And Adam Lythe, as Georgie was saying, a little bit frustrated with his own form the other night, has perished here again for just a single. And Yorkshire in a little bit of bother here in the second over are 1 for 1.
Yeah, and he'll be disappointed that not only has he only got the 1 again, but he's chewed up 6 deliveries to get there.
Yeah.
And of course, in power play overs, when the field is in to all intents and purposes, it's that bit easier, isn't it? Effectively, I think most players would want to go in up top and have that freedom to play. We know he's still quality when he's hitting his straps. He got 90 at Headingley the other week. But this competition for him this year has seen that one spike in performance, no other 50s for Adam Lythe. And so you know that he's not really at his best at the moment when those sort of scores are not coming around regularly. But fortunately for the Vikings' purposes, David Milan is having a wow of a campaign and has got over 500 runs to his name. Yeah,
doing very well. And you feel for Lythe, who is an absolute quality T20 player. And we've seen Durham on the end of a few of his innings over the years. Yeah, he falls for 1 tonight.
There'll be a few Durham supporters happy to see him gone already. Here's Rain then bowling to Shan Masood, the skipper. And this is played to short extra cover, put out by Ashton Turner.
And what it has done, it's created an atmosphere straight away, hasn't it, where the Durham fans are up and about.
Lythe's highest score's only 34 this year, isn't it?
No, he got 90.
When was that?
Against, I'll tell you in a sec. I've got all the score sheets here. Got 90 in match number 9 against Leicestershire at Headingley.
One ball here. Fade away to safety.
Again, really tight lines from Ben Rain, offering no width. And Yorkshire just the one run on the board so far, 11 balls in.
You got 90 off 50 that night, Marty. Has that ruined your research?
It has.
Oh.
Because I just...
5 from me and Doidgy, because Marty
8 pages and in there.
the most brilliant stat.
Oh, there he is, yes.
He's got it in there.
Yeah. In comes the bowler, and he's looking to play through the leg side. And
Wicket maiden.
Ball, a wicket maiden. Rare as hen's teeth. It is actually there, Doidgy.
You see, if you didn't write so much, you'd be able to pick it out more easily.
To be fair to him, he's got it in
You
there.
know what? I put that in there earlier and never saw it. And I started going up and down the table thinking he must have had a half century. And I never saw that. Just flew past it. So.
Yeah, Marty was trying to sort out the phone lines for our radio broadcast for those listening on the stream.
If there are
And he-
anybody listening.
And he missed Doidgy, I think, mentioned earlier that lie that just the 1/2 century.
Ashton Turner then from this Finkel end for over number 3.
Hit them with a bit of spin
Yeah,
from this end so far.
tall, isn't he? I think I've seen much of him. He's round the wicket and right arm, and David Milan has toe-ended that for 4. They'll take all boundaries at the moment, will the Vikings, but he's toe-ended it for 4 through about second slip, really.
Yeah, a bit of width on offer wasn't there from Turner, and Milan threw the hands at it. Got a thick outside edge, which raced the way down to the third man boundary for 4. So Yorkshire with 4 vital runs, and Milan's on his way.
Got a sweeper on the square leg boundary and one just in from the cover boundary. They're the 2 men outside the circle, and the latter that I mentioned is doing the fielding now to this little push by Milan, and very much David Milan's game. You'll see that if he bats for any length of time here, there'll be boundary and then push so often.
So elegant,
That's
to watch,
right.
isn't he? Fluent, elegant. David Gower-like for those that go back a few years. Lovely flow of the bat. Perfect watching for a left-hander.
He actually is David Gower-like. Not quite the sort of cavalier
Yeah,
feel to it.
but that fluent and languid style, yeah.
Yeah, very easy on the eye to watch. Shan Masood probably will be when we get to the longer forms of the game, as he pushes back a dot ball into the offside there, but he's not been fluent in this either himself. And in fact, on Tuesday night after the defeat to Northamptonshire, said to me himself, look, I've got to accept responsibility. I've not been playing well enough, but he's got one over the top here down to long on, and that picks up a boundary. But again, doesn't feel like he's got all of that, does it? The way it's made its way to the boundary rope.
It was a bit tentative, wasn't it? I think he got a good piece of it, don't get me wrong, but I think there was more towards the inside edge than right in the sweet spot. But he used his feet beautifully and got to Turner, and he's away.
So 9 off the over so far, and Masood then pushes one into the onside, and they pick up 1. So they'll be feeling better about life, this pair, just at the moment, because this is what they'll want to do, pick up the boundaries, keep it going. It's an all left-hand combination, of course. Just been hearing that Shan Masood's been selected in the Pakistan squad, by the way. So those of you of a Yorkshire persuasion who weren't aware of that already, you're not going to see much of him in July, as Milan pushes this one out into the offside. Final ball of that Ash Turner over, 1 for 10. 5 apiece for the batters, and Yorkshire 11 for 1. But yeah, he's been picked to play against Sri Lanka, or in the squad to play against Sri Lanka, so he's going to have to go home. If they were good enough to get to the quarterfinals or finals day of the T20 competition, then he wouldn't be around for those, and he's going to miss the 3 championship games that follow this weekend's one against Gloucestershire, which he can play in.
It's frustrating, isn't it, when you're set up? But that's the price you pay for having a quality overseas, isn't it? And he's the leader here at Yorkshire, having moved from, was it Derbyshire last year, where he took on the responsibilities there, and absolute quality player, the left-hander. We're going to see, just trying to have a look who's going to bowl here. They said it's Johnny Bushnell, but I've got the feeling it's Drizzle again. And it is Drizzle again from the Lumley end. And he bowls to Masood, who pushes it into the offside. Just had the ground announcer trying to stitch us up there. because Johnny Bushnell definitely doesn't bowl off spin. As we have Drizzle right down round the wicket to Masood, who gives himself a little bit of room and clips this one out into the leg side, where Liam Travascus does the fielding. And another single to the board. Masood moves along, and the score on to 11.
Yeah, you just watch his game, and you know about how batters play in T20, and you kind of know their game. And I'm not sure we really know what Shan Masood's T20 game is.
Yeah, very prolific in the red ball, isn't he? As Drizzle comes in, and Milan clips this away to mid-on, where Cars again does the fielding there. And then move on to 13 for 1, with both batters on 6. As we're just trying to sort out the technical difficulties for the radio commentary. Drizzle again, right on round the wicket. Masood backs away, and this beats the outside edge. And it's a good start from Drizzle. He seems to be getting a bit of bite out of the pitch, which we haven't seen a lot of turn here at Durham this year.
Yeah, definitely getting some of that. There was a little bit of bounce about that as well. Some of the pitches over the years when I've been here, have been on just slightly, if anything, on the low side.
Yeah. And this is a full toss that's hit nicely to mid-off and fielded well by the skipper. But Masood gets through for a single and pushes the score on to 14 for 1.
It's good to be back, Ash. The best stewards in the world here.
Look after you.
They're great, yeah. I wish every steward in every ground that we have to deal with when we do this job was like that. Yeah.
As Drizzle comes in, the last ball of his second over, and Masood tries to hit this to the moon. Manages to cloth it to mid-on for another dot. And that ends the third over, and another excellent over from Drizzle, who has brilliant figures so far. Only gone for 3 off his 2 overs. Yorkshire, after 3, are 13 for 1.
Yeah, so it's gone 1 maiden, 10, 2. So it's been 3 really tight overs so far, and then just that one spike from over number 3 from Ashton Turner, who is...
Ironically, he's going to bowl another one.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't a disaster, was it? And he's been helped by his mates keeping it down, so he's worth chancing again. Don't think there's any problem with that, as Milan plonks his front foot down the pitch, and I think he's got that off the pad. Yep, Steve O'Shaughnessy.
It is really grey out there.
I'm surprised the lights aren't on, to be honest.
And there's a bit of weather around tonight. There's storm systems moving across. We may get lucky, we may not.
Here's Turner again then. And Masood steps away and tries to play aggressively, but ends up almost pulling this straight really back to the bowler, whose shirt is flapping in. Well, there's a fair old breeze out there as well. This time Masood gets it right. Front leg out of the way, and again, it's not absolutely hammered that to the boundary. It's bobbled along on its way, but it was clear of the field and got there. 4 runs.
Very kind of David Beeser to go and collect the ball there. Keep the over 8 ticking along. But yeah, and again, just trying to give himself some room. And getting a thick inside edge, but good enough to go to the boundary.
Here's Turner again, and Masood this time opens up the offside, but there is a sweeper out there at cover. Going to return that for the concession of 1 run. Masood on to 11.
Crowd continues to build here, which is really nice to see. Durham's last home game of the campaign.
Turner in again, and Milan just punches into the offside. And again, no run. Yeah, it's really good to see. I saw over the back of the stand, the way to the right here, the family zone. There were all sorts going on with the kids, trying different cricketing skills. Great to see. As Milan flicked one off his legs, final ball of the over. That's 5 now complete, and Yorkshire have got a bit of work to do here because they're just the 19, the loss of 1 wicket.
Yeah, it's a slow start, but I guess on the positive side, they've only lost the 1 wicket.
This happened the other night as well, though, didn't it? With Durham against Warwickshire. What were they, 28 for 3 or something?
Who was?
29 for 2. Durham the other night after the power play.
Yeah.
And then in reply, the Bears were 60 for...
Yeah, I was going to say, they got off to an absolute rollicking start.
Here's Ben Rain back into the attack then. So 19 for 1. He's coming in from the Lumley end. Keeper standing up to the stumps. Right arm over, he comes in and bowls. Oh, that's a full toss now. Be interested to see the legs, square leg umpire on height there.
I think it dropped enough, I think.
Yeah, I think he did.
The umpires again are Steve O'Shaughnessy from Bury and Neil Pratt. So they've done a few of the games here as a pairing. And Alex Swan's the match referee.
Can you talk about my northeastern accent?
Yeah. Well, you've just
Dear
got
me.
Sligo again there.
I
Right.
have nobody to comment about accent.
To Masood. Balls. Slower ball. Launched up on the way over mid-off. And that fix. One bounce over the rope, though, and into the advertising hoarding. And a lot of dust came up there as that one landed.
Yeah, and I think this will be welcome for Yorkshire. I'm just saying, when you were trying to sort out the techies there with Ash, that you're not quite sure really what Shan Masood's game is at T20, but he's gone in at 3 tonight, and he is showing some aggressive intent, and doesn't always feel like that's the case. It's just he's not his style of play. You know, he's a sort of glider across the turf, isn't he, if you like, pusher of the ball.
Balls again out into the keeper's gloves, and the keeper hovering the ball just above the bail.
Good take from Robinson. Ben Rain took the pace off the first two, and he pushed that one through about just above stump height.
I tell you what, Ash, looking at the pavilion, that's full.
Yeah.
There's a section where the
They
steps
cordoned it off
are,
for the
which
players,
is
don't
cordoned
they?
off. But that pavilion's full. And around about 6 o'clock, one of the lads upstairs was saying, it doesn't appear to be many here, but there's been a major accident on the A1, and it ground to a halt at around about 4 o'clock. So, rain balls, that's cut hard by Masood, away past point and away for 4.
Some danger signs here for Durham, because Masood has just started to time the ball in this over. The loopy full toss that he missed out on, although he didn't hit the gap, he absolutely nailed it. And then he's backed away and hit him over mid-off. And he's hit that just about as hard as you can hit a cricket ball there. He's smashed it into the turf, and it raced away to backward point for 4. So good signs here for Yorkshire and Shan Masood.
But he has still faced 18 for his 21, Ash. So, yeah, he's getting going.
isn't he?
Yep.
Rain in again and driven out through the covers. And this is going to be 4 more up towards the Health Club boundary. So 14 from the over.
Has your weather app got rain and drizzle on it?
I'm just reading a text about the technicals, and somebody didn't bother deleting their booking for tonight. Or their stream booking for tonight.
Was that Leeds?
It was, well guessed.
Well, nothing to do with me. They're always done for me.
I was just
Nothing to do with me, mate.
Jonathan wouldn't know anything about that. And
No, I wouldn't have a clue.
that's a confirmation. Right, 14 from the over. It does look really close, this weather now, doesn't it? If we could have a bit of drizzle here, or even something heavier. This is pulled away by Masood up towards mid-on for 1.
Thought we got a bit of drizzle out there already.
There's one bit of drizzle.
Yeah,
Player
clever.
number 8. He's bowled beautifully so far. I wonder if he's going to get the next over. Yorkshire 34 for 1, and just an over to give that run rate to push up towards, where are we at? Up towards 7. As Drizzle is going to come back into the attack from the Finkel end. Started off with 2 overs for just the 3 runs. Or is that the end of the power play, is it?
It is.
Yeah.
So we're going about
10 as well.
Yeah.
34 for 1. Well,
Apologies.
that's not great, is it?
Just got a bit of momentum there at the back end, so it'll be interesting to see how they keep going here, especially Masood. I think Milan will just play at his own pace.
Here's Drizzle, then 2 overs for 3 so far. Real good start. What has he got to offer? That's Masood, who's already walking to his right to make some room outside leg stump, and then ends up pulling it straight. In this case,
I don't know if you did this. We didn't have time. We did all the teams, but we weren't on air. So basically, Durham have brought George Russell in tonight. So Brandon Glover misses out.
Yeah.
And Jonathan Bushnell has been brought in at the last minute to replace Wayne Parnell, who got injured in the warm-up. So that's the team news from a Durham point of view.
yep, Yorkshire's in a mo because Drizzle's in again. He's attempted to paddle that David Milan and got it the wrong way, hasn't he? Back of the bat, I think. And nearly got caught at short third man. One change for Yorkshire, and that is that Will Frayne has come back into the side for the first match since the first match of the competition when he was out for a second ball duck at Edgbaston. So he's had to wait a long time for a second bite of the cherry. He's come in for James Wharton, who made 100 a few matches ago, but has come up virtually scoreless since. A series of single figure scores anyway, as Milan just pushed another ball out square on the offside. So James has struggled a little bit following what was an amazing 111 off 56 deliveries.
Do you know what?
Left field.
Today, when I was putting my match notes together, I had brain on my notes.
Drizzle again, flicked into the leg side by Milan, who is definitely not playing with his usual fluency. He can take a few balls to get going, David Milan, but 6 off 13 is most un-Milan-like, really.
Let there be light.
Anyway, I highlighted his name and I was going to delete him, and I thought, no, leave him in there.
Oh, well.
No, he struck that one fluently enough, but there is a sweeper out there coming in to do the fielding. Jonathan Bushnell. They pick up just the one.
Doidgy there. They've got a deep backward point for the reverse sweep and a deep extra cover, which Milan's just absolutely smoked that one too. That changes a little bit for Masood, who the long on now goes back. And backward point comes into the circle. And Jonathan Bushnell goes from extra cover to probably cover point out on the broke. Martin, you're very busy tonight.
Yeah, isn't he? It's a hive of activity in here. 36 for 1 then, 1 left in the over, and just 2 runs from it so far. Just 5 off the bowling of George Drizzle. And in he comes wide on the crease, and Masood leaning into that, flicks it up towards long on where Travaskis fields, and it's another single, so just 3 off that over. And it's a really, really good spell. They're very tentative. They're not quite sure how to go about this, are they? And at the moment, they've just been so tentative that there's a maximum 1 from anything.
Yeah, especially against Drizzle. They've only, has he gone for 6 off his 3, I think?
Yep.
Which has been absolutely outstanding for his first appearance.
It's a sticky wicket.
Well, they're going to find out how sticky it is, because probably Durham's best bowler of the T20 campaign is about to come on in Nathan Souter.
He was really good at Headingley, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He's been outstanding for Durham. I think he's only been got twice, I would say, in the tournament, and he's taken key wickets and bowled at a good economy rate for Durham. Sure, Mark, you'll bring up some stats shortly.
He's second in the country.
There you go.
Economy rate. They're also looking at the impact his wickets have. So he comes in here, and the ball is played back to him by Masood. Against Yorkshire, he took 1 for 30 in 4 overs. Got a 5 for against Northampton the first match.
He's taken multiple wickets on a number of occasions.
That's full toss driven down the ground, and Toss slides in and stops it way down at the far end. 2 runs.
Good work from Travaskis helping his teammate out there. A little bit of a fumble from Cars. Travaskis around there quickly to sweep that up and help his teammate. The lights now have just come on and pretty much taken full effect straight away.
Against a slate grey sky. Masood sweeps out towards deep mid-wicket. It's gone for 4. Fielder came in off his line there and sort of seemed to run inside the line of the ball. Souter took 5 for 15 at Northants, then 4 for 14 here against them. He's taken 4 for 29 against Notts.
Originally, I thought he'd hit that straight to deep mid-wicket.
This is driven down to long off for 1.
And he's picked up that strike rate, 35 off 26, 134. It's getting there.
He's away, isn't he? And Milan's 7 off 14. But as we've seen from Milan over the years, he can take his time, but also more than capable of catching up.
21 wickets he's got Souter this year in the competition. Ben Green, I think, is the leader down at Somerset, is it? Next ball is swept out towards deep mid-wicket. Is that Bushnell out there? Yeah.
Outstanding fielder, young Johnny Bushnell. Getting a chance tonight through Wayne Parnell's injury in the warm-up.
Was there any truth in the rumour that it was Bushnell who tripped him up? Or not?
I hope so. I hope he two-footed him. It's a good story anyway. No, I don't know what's happened. I never
saw any of the warm-up.
No, me either. I saw Parnell really briefly and then he disappeared just as quickly, so I don't know if he's been carrying it and they started waiting till late.
This time Masood puts it out in towards the covers, so it's raining. 8 runs from the over. 8 overs gone, 45 for 1, and it is raining.
Yeah, there's rain in the air. The umpires just having a little look at each other, but I think they'll try and continue, especially in this format. They tend to be on the lenient side. Yeah, Drizzle's going to try and race through another over.
Neil Pratt is the umpire who has been officiating behind the stumps for that previous over. He's now gone off to square leg.
So heavier too.
It is. Steve O'Shaughnessy's the man behind the stumps at our end.
Yeah.
I think they could be going off here. People are leaving their seats and heading for cover.
Not great, is it? Milan has a real
Everything.
swing at this one and misses. Yeah, as Ash called, it's beaten everything, including the boundary sponge and his 4 byes. 49 for 1 Yorkshire, but people are running for cover. And the stand emptying to some extent. There's quite a few people who are fairly sensible and have brought their waterproofs with them just in case.
Yep, Barry's on the track. They're ready to get those covers on.
There we go. Off they go. 8.1 overs in and 49 for 1. 4 minutes before 7. We've just seen 26 minutes of play, and we're not going to see any for a little while yet.
Yeah, if you look to the north, there's a heavy build-up of cloud. However, the weather looks like it is coming a little bit more.
It's brighter
From the
above
west.
us, actually.
Yeah.
I think we might be on the fringes of this, and it looks brighter to the west
Yeah.
as well. The radar was suggesting there were going to be showers passing across the top of us today, but
Not a brilliant ground for cover here at the Riverside. There is probably one section of the ground, unless you're in the corporates, that is under cover, and everybody is hustling towards the back of the first tier of the Durham University stand,
studiously.
or to the sticky wicket.
Yeah.
We're nice and dry, so we're fine. Still warm, but the covers are coming on, and it'll be interesting to see if they just put the dome covers on as they've pushed out now. And as we say that, it looks like it's just started to ease up a little bit. There doesn't seem to be much wind around either, so
No.
5 overs, isn't it, constitutes
Yeah.
an innings for both sides for a match? But I think we'll get more play than that.
It's talking about 90% chance of rain in the area at 9,
Yeah,
but that's in the area of. So
and that might have an impact later on if they, what is it, half an hour they get to extend kind of time by before you start
there's an
losing
hour built
overs.
into the game.
Yeah.
So just looking at the radar here.
Yorkshire, not a single match at Headingley has had any rain at all. It's the first time I
haven't
can
had-
remember.
No, this is
Not
the
a
first
single
for
one.
us, yeah.
In fact, last year the only game that was affected by the rain was Blackpool.
What cover they can find. Those that have brollies have certainly got those up. It'll not bother the kids out there playing. They couldn't care less. But we've got a little break in play. Yorkshire 49 for 1. 1 ball into the 9th over. Shan Masood, the aggressor, on 35. Dawood Milan just getting into his work. He's 8 not out. The wicket to fall was Adam Lythe, who went for 1, was caught by Bryden Cass off the bowling of Ben Rain. And at that stage, Durham had just conceded the 1 run halfway through the second over. Like we say, they've moved now on to 49 for 1.
8.1 overs.
That's the ironic Rihanna song rings around the ground of Umbrella, or Umbrella.
You know, when I got to the car park tonight and I got everything out, all my bags, and I looked at the umbrella and I thought, I don't think I'm going to
I've
need
got
you.
shorts,
I've got
yeah.
a fantastic golf umbrella in the car about 400 yards away.
It's all right, you got your bucket hat, mate. You're good.
Yeah. The new bucket hats.
I know, I've put my order in, actually.
I got a bit of discount off Michael.
Did you?
Yeah.
To give you the friends and family?
He did. I only paid £52 for 2 hats. That's a good
£52.
No, I made that up.
That's a lot of cash.
I made that up. That's not true.
That's
Yeah.
impressive.
So
You
that,
had me.
yeah, I know. I
I
can tell.
think they're only 20 quid as well. weren't they?
I don't know what they are. I think they're about, is that the £18 or something?
I'll tell you, mate. I'll tell you.
Anyway, no doubt there'll be parade. It's for the kids, really. But only one of them asked for a hat.
Yeah.
So
I bet yours goes missing.
when I get home tonight
Yeah.
and the others see it, there'll be
Harry Hill.
bedlam, and I'll have to come back and get some more at some point in the near future.
Well, just up the road at Ropery Lane, Whitburn are 40 for 4 in the Pro Tech Cup at Chesley Street, off 11 overs. And guess what? It's raining there as well, since it's only about 500 metres up the road.
Well, it'll stop raining there before it stops raining here because there's lighter skies
Mhm.
right above Ropery Lane now, so they'll get back on there. The staff are bringing the bigger covers on The 7 o'clock news has begun. Anyway, apologies if you tried to get us earlier, but basically the feed was fed through the wrong bit on the internet.
Marty's looking for a victim.
Well,
He tried to look at Doidge with daggers, and Doidge gave him nothing. He was not bothered in the slightest.
I'm the away broadcaster. I don't.
Love it. Hey.
you're only as good as the people you work with,
Mm.
basically.
Touche.
Lesson in life that I've learned.
Adam Lyth, 90 off 50 deliveries. Is that right?
50.
Never got the chance to tell you all earlier. Durham have signed 2 Leicestershire players in the last 2 days who will join them next season. Left arm spinner Callum Parkinson has signed a 3-year deal. 26-year-old's got more than 250 wickets to his name, and he's skippered Leicestershire in the county championship last year. Been with them for 7 years, started his career with Derbyshire. His twin brother Matt was on loan from Lancashire earlier this season and played 1 game in the championship for Durham against Derbyshire. His Leicestershire teammate Colin Ackerman is also heading to the Riverside after the Foxes announced his impending departure last night. Ackerman has played for the Netherlands under the Durham coach Ryan Campbell and boasts more than 7,000 runs in all formats. He's also got a world record haul in T20 cricket, taking 7 for 18 in a match against Warwickshire. 32-year-old signed a 3-year deal, as has Parkinson. And the Foxes have now got some work to do because Chris Wright is leaving them to join Sussex as well. And Paul Nixon, the coach, has left his role after nearly 6 years in the job today. And there are calls, I gather, from members for an extra general meeting because people are angry and they want him reinstated. He's on what's been described as gardening leave. From Leicestershire's point of view, they didn't win a game in the championship last year, finished bottom. And I think that's the 4th time in about the last 10 years where they haven't won a match all season.
1-1 this year.
They won 1 this year,
Who did they beat, mate?
Beat Yorkshire Headingley first up.
did they?
Knocked off about 600 on the final day.
Yeah. They did.
And the only team they've beaten in the T20 this year has been Durham. They've done the
Twice.
double over there.
Mm.
Bizarrely. It's a strange world. But your thoughts, Ash, on those signings?
I like the spin option. This is no disrespect to anybody in the Durham squad, but I think we've really lacked a quality spinner, hence the signing of various overseas spinners in the last couple of years. And what's turned into a pretty batting-friendly pitch. Obviously, historically, Durham has been a seam-friendly pitch. Since the new drainage has been put in, that's kind of been, well, pardon the pun, but turned on its head. Colin Ackerman, a lot of experience there, and it'll be interesting to see what happens with the Durham batting lineup because there's a decent,
How do you
pretty
fit
strong
everybody
batting
in?
lineup there, I think. But obviously Ackerman, 3 formats as well. So yeah, it's a real interesting one, and I reckon Paul Nixon's probably throwing the toys out of the pram there with some pretty decent players departing, and he might want some answers. But the board could probably turn around and
we
go,
don't know
well,
what's gone on there.
yeah, well, the board could probably turn around in that scenario and go, well, look at the results that we've had so far. We need a rebuild. So from a Leicester point of view, there's lots of work to do. From Durham, I think we've got 2 quality players.
Yeah, we don't know what's happened, so we
No,
can't
absolutely.
speculate.
I can speculate. I don't work for the BBC.
You're on a BBC broadcast.
I know.
Anyway, the bigger covers are coming on here, which is
Still steady, isn't it?
not a good sign. Ground staff have got their waterproof Max on. Right, update now for Radio Newcastle. It is raining. We've had lots of dark clouds around us, and in the last few minutes it started to rain quite heavily. Durham put Yorkshire in. They're 49 for 1. They did lose Adam Lyth for 1 in the second over. He was caught by Bryden Carse at mid-off the bowling of Ben Rain. Rain bowling a wicket maiden, but they've recovered somewhat since then. Chan Masood on 35 and Darwin Milan on 8. The rain came along at 5 to 7. Now, they do build in an extra hour in these matches in the event of rain, and 5 overs a side would constitute a game anyway. So as far as Yorkshire are concerned, they've already had 8.1 overs. So hopefully this will not be too long a delay and they'll be back on soon. Right.
So a few interested spectators in tonight, Marty. So the 50th anniversary of Durham as a minor county beating Yorkshire.
In Harrogate, wasn't it?
So there's 8 of them in the ground.
Gillette Cup.
They've been invited in by Durham.
So basically, the Gillette Cup ended up being a bit of a close shave for Yorkshire. Yeah.
Wow.
I've got no.
Well, it's taken you 50 years to think of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, and Jeff Brown's in, and he's been interviewing a couple of the players there. It was nice to see Jeff.
Kip play that day.
He will have done. I would have thought. Yeah.
Who?
Peter Kip.
Peter Kippax. Yeah, I think he did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brian Landers here, isn't he?
And yeah, so hopefully they're having a good. They're over in the new big staff room, which was the boardroom at Durham, being done out beautifully, and they're enjoying themselves tonight, and no doubt telling a few stories over a couple of cold ones. But pleasure to have them in the ground tonight. Apart from that, there's not a lot more for us at the moment.
The anniversary is actually, I think, next weekend.
So the 30th of June, I think it was.
Yeah, so Durham are away at Worcester next Friday in the T20. So their ground they never win on. They've won once there in the
proper
T20.
graveyard, isn't it?
Oh, it is. It's a long time since they've won there as well. And it's my birthday next Friday.
No,
so
we all know what's going to happen there. Durham win.
You reckon?
Doesn't happen very often down there.
No. It's a small ground, and they've always struggled to defend a lead there or whatever totally in mass. So we shall see. Right, the rain's in for a bit here, so we'll just knock the mics off for a few minutes, and once we've got an update, we'll let you know about it. And at the moment, Yorkshire 49 for 1.